Blender series. Today we're covering how to unwrap an object. So hopefully by now you've been able to model something. I will have some more modeling tutorials, but this is just assuming that you're already have been able to model something. So here I just have a basic sword type thing. Nothing fancy. So I'm going to show you how to unwrap it. It's got like a hole in it with some stars and parts of the blade gets inset right here. It's got the sheath and what have you. So unwrapping, I've heard it described two ways. Basically like cutting a cereal box so that you can open it and unfold it, or like cutting, or basically like skinning a bear and turning it into a bearskin rug. So it is the act of turning a 3D object into a 2D object by making cuts. So what you're going to want to do is kind of do it piece by piece. So I have it separate right now. It doesn't have to be, but I just have it separate. In case you're noticing why my background's blue, you can go into world here and change whatever color you want, just so I can see a little better. And get rid of this too. So the first thing you want to do actually is, if you notice up here, your rotation and scale might be a little weird. So the best thing to do is press Control A first and do a rotation and scale, which zeroes all this out and makes your scale all 1. So that just means everything's normal, back to normal. So just good practice to press Control A, rotation and scale before doing that. Oops, I only have half a sword. So in case you don't know how to mirror stuff, I'll show you. You just go to here, modifier. I must have just done it on the wrong axis or something. Okay, there we go. Now I can start making my cuts. So in order to do your UV editing, you go click this view menu, go to UV editing, which will give you, here's your 3D model, here's your UV layout over here. If you want to make it so it's not see-through, you can press this little button right here. So I'll grab an edge selection, press A to either select all or deselect all. For this particular one, I think I'm going to need to make cuts like around here, maybe, and like maybe down the edge. So by holding Shift, you can add to your selection, and by holding Alt, you can do a loop. So if I hold Alt and Shift, I can add a edge loop. And then I just want to make sure that it goes all the way around. So hold Shift and select that. Hold Alt and Shift, and then just make sure it goes all the way around. Okay, looks like it's good enough. Once you have an edge you want to make a cut in, you press Control E, go to Mark Seam. I'll do this in a few more places. I'll do it down the edge here. Alt and Shift. That should loop all the way around, which will be a good one. So Control E again. Go to Mark Seam. If there's problems later, I can add more. But that should probably be enough, more or less. And then I'll tab out and do this piece since it's separate. After I do them separate, I'm going to join them. So for this one, it's a little more complicated. Gonna have to do kind of a lot of clever edges here. So as you can see, before doing that, there's an edge fix I found. So I want to just go back to default, right, log in, or zoom in again. And I don't really like this right here. I want, you know, I'm going to make them into triangle. Well, you know what, I can live with it. So ideally, you might not want a quad that's stretched so long like that, but you know, I guess I will just go to knife and just kind of cut it. And press enter. Kind of a weird. I'm just going to pull this out a tiny bit. I know these are small details, but what have you. Okay, well, let's just assume I did that all the way around. You know what? Forget it. I will just start making my cuts. So what I'll do is I'll select an edge loop here. And this can be a cut. So Control E, mark seam. I'll probably want to do a cut down the middle like that. So Control E, mark seam. You don't have to necessarily do it all the way around. You can do it on one side and unfold it that way. So if it's a problem, I can always stitch it back together. This is going to be kind of strange, so I will do that probably, and that. Mark the seams there. So that should be able to unfold. And then I'll do the same on this side as I did on that side. You can see the red lines show you where you have made your seams. Okay. So it might be a little wonky, you might have some problems, but I'll give it a try. So now it's like that. I'll save just because it's a good thing to do. I'm gonna Shift select this and press join. Now I'm gonna go into my UV editing and basically I will go press tab into edit mode, press A to select everything, press U for unwrap, and then there's my unwrap. You can check here how much stretching is going on. So if it's blue, you're pretty good. So it actually looks fine. This is a pretty simple unwrap. I look, you know, fairly okay. There's some problems. I would, you know, in another tutorial I would discuss more advanced techniques. Before I run out of time here, the best thing to do would be to average island scale, which will basically set them to be the right size as they are. Pack islands will fill in the amount of space needed. And this one is so much blade that it's not much of an unwrap, so but there, that's the basics of how to unwrap. You can press smooth if you need to, and that's it. Next you can go in and add textures on top of it. So I will show in the next video, I will show how to texture. So that's the basics of unwrapping. There's quite a bit more to it, but that's just enough to get you started. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, more advanced unwrapping and texturing.